the podcast, everybody. You're here with the boys of Boy and Soy on our post-credits segment. I am Nolan Chang, your co-host, and with me as always are my longtime friends and co-hosts, Keone McKeague, Jalen Holston. Say what's up to the crowd.
Sappy Focus.
This is a public service announcement. If you are not watching Superman and Lois, what are you doing? Okay? I don't have my old show, but I will tell you right now, DC TV stuff, it's great. Okay? Fucking watch the goddamn show. So good.
So go see The Flash. Will do.
Motherfucker.
We got a
Support
full
James
slate
Gunn.
of info,
Son of a
trailers to go over with you all today.
Son
James Cameron is the GOAT. No, I'm just
James
I will
James
reach
Gunn?
through this fucking camera and strangle you.
It's like everything that triggers James.
I will
It's like
end you.
Miss
You know
Marvel
what?
was the best show. On
You know what? This right here. This is why the Vegas trip is not as appealing. This right here. This exchange right here. What you're doing right now. What you're
think
doing right
Josh
now.
Allen
That's
is
why.
better than Patrick Mahomes.
Yeah, it's like you definitely don't want me to go now. That was it. That was it. I had a little bit of a straw
He's
left.
like-
That was the boom gone.
He's
That's
like, I'm coming to Vegas to murder you. You're like, oh, he's coming.
it. Oh wow. God
Speaking
damn
of
it.
Vegas, CinemaCon just took place this past week. And
It did.
takes place in Vegas, where they host pretty much all the production companies around the area or around the world, really, come and promote their upcoming properties, whether that's trailers, whether that's movies that are coming out right now, or things that are going to be in pre-production. And it's kind of a cool little conference for theater owners that are able to kind of see this and you know what, I would love to have that movie play on my screens. I would love to have that movie play on my screens. And I think it's a really, really nice little showcase that they do every year. And there's a lot of info that came out, so we're just going to dive right into it. I'm not going to try to list everything that we're going to talk about because it's lengthy. But the first one is going over the Sony Pictures presentation. Obviously, they released footage that has not yet been released to the public yet for Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse. And that movie is going to be coming out on December 13th of this year. Oh, no.
It's this year. Yeah.
Is it that late? Wow. Damn. I don't
It's
know
just
why I
later
thought
into
this
the
was-
year. Yeah, but it is this year.
Either way.
I don't know why I thought this was
they
like
brought
coming
out
soon.
for what?
June. I thought it was. Is it not June 13th? Are we sure? I thought it was gonna be like a
It is
summer
June.
banger.
Yeah, I thought it was a summer movie.
Could have sworn.
I'm going to be so upset.
If it's Christmas, I'm going to die.
No, you are correct. You were correct. It's June.
Thank
Okay,
God.
I was reading
I was
the
gonna
date
say,
when
oh.
the first trailer was released, which was
Right.
December
Yes.
13th.
I was like, bro,
2026.
I swear it was supposed to be coming out soon, and I was excited for it.
They pushed
Okay.
it back so that they can play the
I know. I was about to say, I was like, that sucks. I didn't know they pushed it. Okay. All right. Cool. Okay. Cool.
But
We're good.
Issa Rae, Haley Steinfeld, and Shamik Moore, who are the main protagonists of the movie. I wish Oscar Isaac was there too, but he didn't show up. But they were kind of just talking about what this new movie was going to be like, as well as giving the people in attendance a little bit of a sneak peek of it. One of the big things that Sony did release to those attending was the first teaser trailer and first look at Kraven the Hunter, which is going to be rated R, starring Aaron Taylor
Nice.
Johnson.
Hell yeah.
And there's been talk about how brutal it looks. Apparently, there's at one point Aaron Taylor Johnson bites a guy's eye out.
Nice.
Which I think is great. Yeah, if you want to go
Great.
balls to the
Yeah.
wall.
Yeah. Let's go
And
crazy.
I believe
Cannibalism,
I also heard
yeah.
that they revealed that Rhino will be I want to say one of the antagonists of that movie. It's kind of difficult. He is an antagonist, but he's a protagonist for his own movie. So you know what I mean. But
Well, yeah. If they're all antagonists to Spider-Man, but in their own narrative, they technically have to be the pro. They're
Yeah.
the pro
Kind
antagonist.
of like
Is that?
Venom, right? Because
Yeah.
the
It's-
Carnage
yeah.
thing. Yeah.
It's kind of the thing.
Um,
Yeah.
I guess there was a clip that showed like some guy with a Russian accent, of course, transform into a large rhino and then start charging. Which
Is it
is
not?
fantastic.
What's his name?
I
Giamatti.
hope it's not Paul Giamatti.
Please God no.
Please God.
I was just
do not
curious.
want
I
to
was
see
like,
that. I don't want any part of that.
I just.
I don't want any part of it. I don't want
I
to
don't
be
want
near
any
it. I
part
don't
of
want
it.
to see it. I don't want to hear it. Nothing. No.
One of the next things that they released that we have all got a chance to watch because they released it online, Equalizer 3 trailer starring Denzel Washington. I believe this is the final of the franchise. I'll start off with you, Keone. What did you think of the trailer, and are you excited?
If this isn't an indictment on my thoughts of Denzel being Batman as a father,
As a father.
I'm just saying. Older Batman. Come on, let's make it happen. Because boy looks
Batman
terrifying.
can't be black. I'm sorry.
Why? No, I'm
Because
joking.
the Wayne family comes from old money, white money.
Just saying.
Yeah, that's one of those you can't really get away with it. I'm sorry. That's,
That
that would be just doing the woke thing.
He was
Yeah, that
he
would
was
be-
from my fan cast. I'm just saying. Homeboy looks.
He was
Right.
adopted.
They give him
Okay.
this entire thing. They give him just every little bit of ability to pull off exactly that idea of a Batman character. But anyway, I mean, 1 and 2 were already fantastic. It was one of those surprise hits that just came out of absolutely nowhere. I don't think anybody was expecting it to be good. It kind of gave you the feels when it first came out, like that initial when Sylvester Stallone and Arnold Schwarzenegger started coming back in the movies, and you were kind of like, oh God, please don't come back anymore, because you kind of, you're older. It's not as cool as it was when you were like jacked and you were like 30. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
But you're
So
still
it
jacked
kinda-
and on
But
steroids.
Liam
it's
Neeson
weird,
had
but
also started the whole Taken thing,
Yeah.
so you saw all these old dudes doing crazy ass action movies. So now
Exactly.
Denzel was like, "Let me get mine real quick," you know.
But on top of that, obviously Denzel is a whole tier level mountain higher than those two as far as acting chops. Even though I will say Sylvester Stallone, he's gotten a lot better in recent years. But anyway, yeah. So for me, it was one of those completely out of nowhere surprises. I don't know if I've mentioned this before on pod, but Denzel Washington is my favorite actor of all time.
I believe you mentioned it.
Okay,
Once or
so
twice,
I was like, so absolutely anything that it comes out with, like I am on board with. I think he's one of, like I said, one of my gauges for like how I feel for an actor is like whether or not they can make me tear up in a theater or in any kind of watching experience. Sometimes I tear up even rewatching things with the same dude, and he just has that ability. So in this movie, I believe everything that he's able to do. I think it's really cool that he's also kind of like Keanu Reeves, where he does actually know how to do these things in real life. So I think that adds to the fact. But in the trailer, he just looks, I mean, I just watched the Red Band. It looks like it's going to be freaking phenomenal, just as violent as the first two and just as terrifying
Everyone
to
loves
know
gun
this
food.
man. I know. It's I don't know what it is. This dude, he looks absolutely fantastic for whatever age he is. I'm pretty sure he's got to be like close to 70 at this
I
point.
think he's 70, yeah.
Yeah, but he just looks phenomenal. The movie looks phenomenal. I cannot wait to see it. And yeah, if you're excited for Equalizer 3 like me, get out there and go see the damn movie.
Very good.
Mhm.
Jalen, obviously, we kind of saw that it's the reuniting of Dakota Fanning and Denzel Washington.
Yeah, his literal reaction was just like, "Wait, why is she an adult? I don't understand."
She's like so small and cute. She was in Twilight for a little bit, no? But
Yeah, she's
Yeah,
not
well,
that much like
she our age?
younger than us. Yeah, like I'm pretty sure she's like our age.
Yeah, she might be a little younger. Maybe
At worst, she's
maybe
like 4
closer to
years.
Jay,
You know,
closer to Jay kind of age. I want to say
Let's find out.
because Jay's what, like 3 or
Oh,
4 years
29.
younger than I.
So
am?
she is literally my age. We were the same age. When Man on Fire was made.
Wow.
And then
You
all of a sudden
know.
you're like, you what?
Huh?
That doesn't make sense. But
Yeah.
yeah, just your thoughts. Dakota Fanning has, I wouldn't say she's been in a lot of pictures recently.
No.
She kind of
Yeah.
picks and chooses now. She kind of did her whole child actor thing and probably just wants to cruise a little bit now that she's older. But what do you think about having her added to this movie? And do you think that it's going to be a big role, or is it kind of just how Grace Moretz was in the first Equalizer?
I think it's going to be more of a complimentary role, you know what I mean, to kind of level out and humanize the character that Denzel has to play in the movie. I think it's just added like kind of cool fan service that there's a reuniting of that immaculate film of Man on Fire, from that whole great, that was like the prime Denzel you want to call it a renaissance maybe of his absolute bangers that were just like movie after movie after movie that were coming out. But yeah, I think really I don't think it's gonna be a huge role, but I do think it's more of like, you know, it's Denzel. She hasn't really done anything in a while, and clearly they still have some good love for each other and whatnot to kind of come back and do that for her. I think is a pretty big deal. So yeah, but I think she's gonna be there to more or less humanize his character, just like, you know, the last film and whatnot. But yeah,
Nice. Moving on, we'll go over to the Warner's Brother Discovery presentation. A few things that they did, they did kind of announce or talk about there was the Flash, of course. That I believe everyone at CinemaCon got to see Flash screening.
Yeah.
So that was nice for them because I guess they can't really promote Ezra, so they gotta get the word out that the movie's good as hell somehow, and that's the only way, really, in my opinion. Blue Beetle was also talked about. I believe the actor, I'm sorry, Cholo.
Maruana.
Yeah, he came out, I think, on stage or was there to help kind of usher it in. Aquaman and the Lost Kingdom was also touched on a bit. I feel like I haven't heard a lot about.
They're trying to let it die, just like
Aquaman?
the other movie. Yeah, which is
I've heard all
a
this
crying
things where
shame.
people walked out of screenings, and I don't know if it's true or not, but I'm gonna hold my breath and give it some because we love Jason Momoa, right?
We
love
do.
Jason Momoa.
We do.
Yeah, it sucks because it's like one of those like you really don't like what's her name, but you really love Jason Momoa, and I'm
Yeah.
like I can't tell if
Yeah.
I really want to see it or not because it's
Got a great guy that makes you smile, and the other one takes your shit in your bed. You know what I mean? There's
Right, exactly.
so many levels.
I knew
So many
I knew
levels.
Jay
I was about to say it, and I saw him go for it. I was like, all right, I'll let Jalen do this.
I knew Jay was gonna bring it up.
That's just what a level of what? That's a crazy person. That's a person that needs to be in a padded cell. That's a crazy person.
Yeah.
Okay?
Can you imagine, like, if, like,
Jesus.
in reality, like, she was like, no, it was the dog, but, like, the poop was, like, this big. Like, there's no way.
No. I have
little
seen
baby
many a
dog.
dog shit in my lifetime. But let me tell you,
Dog
that
yay
lady,
big does not poop the same
Mm-mm.
size as its land.
no, not possible.
Anyways, they also touched on Barbie, starring Ryan Gosling and Margot Robbie.
I'm so like I want to see it just because it's so
I'm
fucking
interested.
weird.
I'm
You know what I mean?
Because you know it's funny, Simu Liu is in there too, so I'm just like,
Yeah.
I just want to see it.
What is going on?
Kate McKinnon is in there, I believe.
I know.
I forgot someone else. There's a plethora of people that are supposed to be either Ken or variations of Barbie.
Right.
So it's gonna be fun. I think it's
Yeah, so tune in here. We might be reviewing Barbie.
I'm just like I want to see what's going on because
I
there's so
don't know if I'll see
many
it in
crazy
theaters,
things.
But you know,
Yeah, I'll definitely watch it at some point. I don't know about theater, but
they definitely covered a bit of the Wonka movie that they're making, which stars Timothy Chalamet.
Can't wait for that one.
Ooh, that's a winner.
As the young Gene Wilder Willy Wonka, not the Johnny Depp one. But yeah, it's
So we're
supposed to
breaking
go
away
through
from
his-
Burton canon.
yeah,
We're going
his
back
youth
to
kind of leading
Okay.
into it.
okay.
I think they said he's playing more of like a hopeful soul rather than the gruffy kind of weird guy he was in the actual movie.
Yeah, the serial killer that trapped children with candy. Yeah,
Yeah, and hires a ton of short
No.
orange people to.
no one wants to acknowledge that part of the fucking script, do they?
That is a hell of a twist on like if you were to just describe the film exactly like that.
Well, describe what happens in the film, Keone.
Turns
That's
out
what this man
the girl
is. He is
from
a
Blueberry
serial
Hill-
killer.
I know, it's just like that's like a completely like you just killed so many people's childhood.
I really did. That movie is not okay.
I'm really wondering what the tone of the movie will be because it's Timothy Chalamet. He can play a little more lighthearted, but his bread and butter is just the drama.
Oh yeah.
So I think it'll be interesting to see when that comes out. They announced a BeetleJuice 2. I don't know if Michael Keaton's coming back to it or how this is going to play out, but it was announced that they're doing that. Just figured I'd give you guys a little info on that.
There's no way that he doesn't come back for that, right?
He's coming back. He's fucking Batman right now. Are you kidding me?
Yeah.
You're telling me you can't play
Yeah.
Beetlejuice?
Yeah.
Come on.
He's been fantastic in everything he's been in lately, so there's no way you don't do it
true.
without him.
And then
you also have to bring back the mom from Home Alone. I forgot her name, but
Oh,
she's
yeah.
in Schitt's Creek as well.
Yeah. I forget her name as well.
I forgot her name.
I can see her face right now.
You
I can
have
see
to
it.
bring her back, like legit.
Yeah.
You have to bring her back. Yeah.
and Dune Part 2 trailer. I was, first time watching Dune Part 1. A little slow paced. Kind of, I've never really watched the old ones from, I think it was the 80s that they did like the TV special
Don't.
one.
Don't.
No, I didn't.
Do
Ever.
not.
And then I feel
I
like
repeat.
the second time I watched it through, I was a little more understanding of what the story plot was, what the world is, everything that they're kind of creating, why this is this way, why this is this way. But yeah, I'm looking forward to this next movie. I'll throw it over to you, Jalen. I know you've seen it. What are your thoughts on this second part? And when are you going to see it? Are you going to see it in theaters, or are you going to go wait for it to come back to home?
Oh no, I am in the theater for
Good man.
Dune Part 2. Like I am so like I am in the Dune universe. Again, Dune is why we have Star Wars. So like that is all truth be told, I am I'm like full tilt diving into the Dune world. There's a MMO survival RPG set in the Dune universe that I cannot wait to try to play. Hopefully with you guys, maybe we'll see if we can make some content.
I'm with it.
And whatnot. So yeah, no, I will be front row in the theater, ready to get my mind blown. When I watched the first movie, I did not want it to stop. I had no issues with the length, or it didn't feel like it was slow. I was just glued to the screen. I was like,
it was day and date release, so I did see it at home for the first time rather than in a
Damn,
theater. 'Cause it was like
bro.
no, it's like
Yeah.
the peak of COVID, so it was kind of
yeah,
it was dicey, right? So,
a little
but
bit.
I definitely
Yeah.
enjoyed that movie.
It was fantastic.
Keone, also in this movie are of course returning Zendaya, as well as Timothy Chalamet as the main Paul, the actor character, and Florence Pugh as well as Austin Butler are joining the cast in this movie.
Yes.
Absolute powerhouse actors and actresses.
Probably the four biggest names in Hollywood. Like
4 young names in
Yeah.
Hollywood.
and,
That's
like young Hollywood. That's insane.
yeah, and I believe Austin Butler's playing kind of like a psychotic villain from the Harkonnen group, and then Florence Pugh, I believe, is playing a princess. Don't know what those characters kind of detail if I haven't seen the old one, so
The old one. Yeah.
I'll ask you. Do you know anything about those 2 characters and what
I
they
mean,
can bring?
They are definitely vital to the story. They'll be around for. Well, I don't want to spoil that too much because I feel like that sounds like it's gonna give away what might happen for the movie. But I will say that they are pretty solid parts for the film.
Gotcha.
So I mean, damn, for them to go out and get like when I saw both of them, I'm like thinking like this is literally the most
Danny
stacked
Villeneuve does not
cast.
mess around when he casts his movies.
Yeah, bro, like I like legit the budget on this film must be insanity because
I mean,
it looked beautiful
yeah.
in the last one, but for them to get all the even the last one they had Oscar Isaac, they had Jason Momoa, like huge names. They got Batista for this one. Like I just like there are so many people in this film. There's no way this budget isn't just through the damn roof. But either way, the visual effects look absolutely phenomenal. I cannot wait to see like what they do with this film. And I'm with Jay, man. Like this is a universe that fully like wrapped in. When I saw the first film, I thought like I'll say this. So the old film, the biggest gripe I think a lot of people have with it was way ahead of its time, so it couldn't really do the story justice with like the visual effects and all this sort of stuff. Like they had to go with the practical stuff, so it was a little bit harder for them to kind of nail what the gravitas of like this entire universe. What he's able to do now with the technology that we have now and how it looks, like
Gorgeous.
it looks spectacular. So yeah, I mean, this was a surprise hit for me. I'm with Jay. The pacing, like for me, felt fine just because there were so many great acting spots in the film,
Yeah.
and like so much like a lot of that cast. Like you thought, like with all these names, how are they all gonna be highlighted well? But they did it. I mean, each of them had their moments, and I thought, like, I'm so stoked to see the rest of these.
I think for me it was more. I felt like it was slow paced just because the first time through, this is brand new.
Yeah, you're learning
I'm trying to
everything.
figure out what's going on here.
for sure.
Who are these people? Who's this guy?
No,
Then
yeah, I get it.
second time
But
through-
that was a lot of issue for a lot of people, especially because it was super long of a film.
Yeah.
But yeah, either way, I think once I kind of got like into like, and I think what helped too was that my dad also like was kind of like more knowledgeable of it, so he did help me along. Like kind of like initially he was like, "This is the setup," and then I was like, "Oh, okay, now it all kind of makes
Got
sense."
it.
So yeah, that definitely helped. Yeah.
Nice. I'll just kind of run through the things really quick that Disney announced. I don't believe they did any real Marvel stuff per se. They are making another Kenneth Branagh Hercule Poirot. You know that like Murder on the Orient Express,
Oh,
Death
another
on the
one of
Oh,
Nile,
those.
and
Wonderful.
this one will
Yeah.
be Haunting in Venice. So it's a little bit more of a thriller, kind of horror
ooh.
esque kind of look. But Michelle Yeoh is starring in it, and I think that I don't know if this is going to be the last one they do, but I feel like watching Glass Onion this past year and technically Death on the
So is
Nile.
Johnny Depp coming back? Wait, Johnny Depp that was Murder on Orient Express was Johnny Depp? No.
I don't know.
I
I
don't
thought
think so.
Murder on Orient Express the one where is Johnny Depp's kind of version of like he came back twice for like two
No,
different films.
no, it's Kenneth Branagh.
Who's Kenneth Branagh? What am I
He's the
thinking?
one who
Oh,
plays.
hello, yeah, okay, I
Yeah,
got you. Getting right, yeah. I'm getting mixed up. My bad.
no, you're good.
Yeah.
But yeah, they're releasing that movie. It's gonna be starring Michelle Yeoh, Jamie Dornan, Tina Fey, which is interesting. So I'm excited for that. I think the mystery movies kind of reamped my kind of interest in them this past year
Oh
for
yeah.
sure.
Mm-hmm.
Um, the first trailer for Taika Waititi's Next Goal Wins was showcased, which is starring Michael Fassbender, and it's kind of like a comedy. I guess it's regarding the Australian team that are no American Samoa football team
Mm-hmm.
that went on a terrible losing streak,
Mm-hmm.
and they bring in Michael Fassbender as the new coach to kind of lead them into the next whatever it may be. I think it's very Taika esque once you watch the trailer, so I'm
Mm-hmm.
excited for that. I'll probably wait till that comes out on streaming or something, but you know, Taika movies are always fun to watch. Um,
Hell yeah.
and then I believe they gave a short or 20-minute presentation of Elemental, just kind of for the people there. Obviously, I haven't released too much more there. I don't, Pixar is Pixar. I'm probably gonna watch it eventually, but it didn't
Mm.
really catch my
Right.
eye thus
You
far.
know, I was like, hot take. Disney and Pixar has been pretty bad lately. I like, especially after watching Super Mario Bros. And like kind of like the other films that have been coming out from all these other animation studios. Like, I
Illumination
just
specifically is just killing it. I'm sorry. Like they are
Facts.
they've kind of put the death nail into Pixar
agreed.
as far as
Yeah.
I'm concerned.
Okay, yeah, agreed.
No,
Like
really.
100%. I think the name factor of Disney Pixar is like the only thing that's really keeping them afloat. But right now, their films are just terrible. Like absolutely
I'm
terrible.
hoping this
I don't
one's good.
know. I don't know if it's like they're wanting to go so wokeism that they kind of like just keep making movies where they just show how woke they can be as opposed to like just make a great film
Yeah, I could be woker.
have yeah I don't know it's like this idea where it's like they just have to just make it woke without making it a good film, which is like, do it the other way.
This is our
Like,
underlying
think
theme.
great film, yeah, think great film, and then be woke, but like, you know what I mean, being, it to me it's just, I think they're going so far that other way that they're not even trying to make great movies, and the last like 5-6 movies from them have been pretty terrible. So
Um, and then just chop up the Universal presentation really quick. Christopher Nolan presented a bit for Oppenheimer, which I think is going to be one of those absolute banger Nolan movies. He just has a way with these period pieces in certain ways and true stories or whatever it may be. And Cillian Murphy starring as Oppenheimer. Loves
perfect
working with
choice.
Christopher Nolan, so that's
Mhm.
going to work out perfectly.
Love Cillian Murphy.
They presented a first look at Wicked, which is I believe coming to the big screen. Um, I haven't really seen too much into it, but I know Ariana Grande is Glinda.
Sold, done, there,
All
instantly.
right,
Say
perfect.
less. Yep.
Mhm.
Say less.
I'm in.
I think Jeff Goldblum's the Wizard of Oz too. So
Sweet mother of God.
Hell
I am in.
wow.
I am so in right now.
Yeah, wow.
I don't even care what the movie is. I'm there. I'm there. I'm in. Yeah.
the Jeff Goldblum. Sorry.
Did any of you guys ever see the Broadway show? No.
No.
I did.
Okay.
When I was younger though.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
don't remember too much, but
As I said,
um,
those two already, man. That sounds like it's gonna be damn good.
They announced a Kung Fu Panda 4 starring Jack Black.
I did see that. Yes, yeah.
I guess it's gonna be him trying to find the next Dragon Warrior and kind of just his journey on that. Jack Black is. I feel like Jack Black's having his own kind of renaissance.
Yeah,
Right? He's
exactly.
been coming out in everything, and I'd love
School of Rock 2. Come on, I'm just saying, just do it.
Allegedly, it's trying to be, like happen. Like a real sequel.
Did people pass away?
A couple did,
I think
which
the
you
drummer
can
passed away.
circle
Like
around it.
students or
Yeah, the students.
The actual
The drummer
actors.
passed away. I forgot how, for what
Yeah.
reason.
what?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, that's pretty sad.
And then they announced
Okay.
Vin Diesel came out and announced Fast X Part 2 is going to be
Stop it.
releasing in 2025.
Stop it.
That's the last one, right?
That is the last one. I think it made sense for them to end
so-
on X Part 2
Yeah,
rather than
it's so dumb because you know what I mean. Like it's none of it has really been so like for them to be like X Part 1 and Part 2 as just to make it so it ends on 10. You should have just stopped a long time ago.
Probably like after the second one with what I mean.
No, 7. I'll say 7th was a good.
I'll say 7. Yeah, just
guess
to give
7
Paul,
was
Paul
fine.
Walker.
Yeah.
Just give Paul his due.
Yeah.
7 would have been fine. But here we
very
are.
True. Next thing I wanted to talk about with you guys, and we've all watched it, and we definitely enjoyed it. It was the Transformers: Rise of the Beast trailer, the second trailer that they released thus far. Woo! What a banger!
Yes.
Director, I think his name is Stephen Caples, is directing it, but I feel like it's still got the good parts of what the Michael Bay series kind of gave us. Keone, I'll throw it over to you first. What did you think of the trailer? And what did you think of Pete Davidson as the voice of the car?
So
mean,
great.
Honestly, like I was like, I don't know why a lot of people hate on him. I don't mind Pete Davidson.
They're
like
jealous.
They're
jealous,
I
dude.
was like, to be honest, I think he's hilarious. I mean, he kind of just has this demeanor that I think is really funny. It's really random that he dated Kim Kardashian. You know what I mean? Like
And Ariana Grande.
yeah, exactly. So like clearly the
And-
boy has some kind of,
Kate
as the kids would say, riz.
Beckinsale?
No, just joking.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Like
I mean, anyway.
levels,
got it.
brother.
I don't know
Yeah,
what
I'm
he's
just
got, but he got
saying.
it.
Boy, got some charm. I like him. I don't know why
Staten
people hate on
Island
him so
charm?
much. That is true. But yeah. Anyway, like I think the film from the get go already, I was already kind of like, whoa, because this whole beast thing that they got going on. First of all, they look dope. I know Jay kind of went into the lore of it and all, but initially my first reaction was just like, whoa, finally the wow, I just completely forgot their name. What are they
Autobots?
called? They're called the Autobots. Look cool because I don't know why for all the films up until this point, like I don't know about how everybody else felt, but like it felt like the Autobots kind of had like the lamer group, and then like the Decepticons always
Decepticons.
kind of had like the cooler looking, like they had like the tank and then the helicopter,
Yeah.
and like we're showing up with like 2 bikes. Like I was just like, come on, we're the cool looking Autobots. But this one definitely gives that whole thing like a revamp because
You always got to have Bumblebee.
yeah, and I was like, Bumblebee always looks dope. But either way, like I think it's really cool that they finally got something that's different, something I've never seen. Excited to hear what that's about. Whatever your face
He
just
just
was
upset
about.
the Knicks in Game 1.
Let's go, Miami Heat. Anyway,
Anyways, continue.
Anyway, yeah, continue on. But yeah, for me, like I think that this is definitely a film I'm probably gonna watch in theater because for some
That's a
reason,
theater movie. For sure.
yeah, Transformers movies, man, they hit just an extra in the theater. I don't know what it is. That I still can't get over the initial like right when they transform, and I think the little transition in the trailer with what's his name, Anthony, whatever his name is, Ramos is his name. Is it
Ramos,
Anthony
yes.
Ramos. Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Anthony Ramos, like that cool little transition, and then I think Jay hit it on the head. The music, man, just stop
Go
it.
DMX, bro.
Stop it.
94,
it.
baby.
Yeah,
Optimus Prime.
R.I.P. DMX, man.
Yeah.
Jalen, I'm gonna throw it over to you. I know that, like Keone mentioned, you do have a little more backstory knowledge regarding the beasts and their lore. Could you fill us in a little bit? And did this trailer kind of, at least from the trailer's standpoint, did it do them justice or?
Oh yes, it did everyone absolute justice. You saw Chitra in there, you saw Optimus Primal, and pretty much everything I predicted from the teaser was confirmed in the trailer. The antagonist will be Unicron, which is the big like transformer planet eating situation. Not good, Bill. This is not good. Okay. So I do think I like the approach of this kind of reboot to the Transformers series. It's not so much human centric. There are great human characters. But it is finally about the Autobots and the Decepticons and like all of those interactions and that lore and digging into all those things. And it feels more like a show. It's the approach that I wish DC would have taken with their properties and just made film adaptations of all their great animated properties, like the Justice League, Unlimited stuff and whatever, like all those great movies that they have on their DC animation list. I wish they would have just had a solid cast of characters, keep the same actors, but they just come back for different movies every time. That would have been fucking cool. But anyway, I do think this movie looked fantastic. I loved Pete Davidson as a Transformer in this movie. I cannot wait to hear more. Thought he was very funny. And again, I think it's cool they're just kind of catching up to when the Bay films actually take place. You know what I mean? I think the last one was in the
them, first one was solid.
Kind of, but no, like, you know what I mean? Without the first one, do we really know who Megan Fox is? No. No, we don't.
That's true. That's a very true point.
No, we don't.
And boy, did we know who Megan Fox was after that one.
Sure did.
Anyways.
But yeah, I think this is a cool approach to, it's a softer reboot than just saying, oh, these are all new and blah, blah, nothing exists. But yeah, I kind of wonder if Haley Steinfeld will make a quick cameo because it's not that far after Bumblebee, and Bumblebee's still there. So, that'd be cool. Obviously, I think she's kind of a big enough star. You don't really do like she would be in the promo material. I feel like if she was in it, but you never know. But yeah, it's very, very cool. I can't wait to see it. I loved seeing all the Beast Transformers and stuff on the screen. I think they all look great.
When they just
they look great, man. It's great. And Optimus had his good old catch lines in there, man. And let them come, which is amazing. So yeah, I'm hyped. Another Transformers movie for me and my aunt to go see, as tradition has been established. So ever since the first one, we've seen every single one. Yep,
I love that.
I did that with my friend JB and one of my other high school friends. We were bored at the mall one day, decided to watch the first Twilight, and
Jesus,
whenever each one came out, we're like, we have to go. Us three.
That doesn't quite have the same cute effect Jalen and his aunt.
Just thought
that
I'd
one
throw
seems
that out
more
there.
weird.
Yeah, that one sounds like something was being explored there, mate. Something internally between the two of you males. You know what I mean?
So kudos to Twilight for getting us Robert Pattinson.
Don't try to switch this to a Batman. You went through 7 Twilight films.
Yeah, you sat there and watched Taylor fucking Lautner, mate. Yeah, you did. Fucking Shark Boy and Lava Girl. That's what you fucking watched there, mate. Yeah.
Sounds more like those facts that probably should have not made it onto the podcast.
Yeah, there. You kept that one in your back pocket, mate. Yeah, you don't want to fucking.
Yeah. Thanks for listening.
It's out there.
I'll go hide in my closet now.
Yeah, back in there you go. Because clearly, since there's no more Twilight movies for you to come out of the closet with JB, that's seems like you have to go back in
the single one in this group.
I'm just like, that doesn't mean anything. That is
everything.
That is for appearances, sir. No.
How dare you? I'm telling Nicole. Before we get off the rails, wanted to talk to you guys about their announcement of Final Destination 6.
Wow. That movie is why I can't drive behind a semi truck hauling
Oh,
logs.
Right,
with
right.
logs.
It's like, no. I gotta
Never
go.
again.
Logs, poles, anything that looks
Anything.
like you're gonna fly
Anything
off
that
the
hangs
back.
off the bed of the truck, like, nope, I'm done here.
I'm like, yep,
Yeah.
nope, we're gonna go ahead and just get on.
It's like
outta
also
here.
why I don't trust like we have a little fair that happens every now and then.
Nope.
Bust out the little roller coasters. Yep.
No, thank you.
No.
Don't trust
Don't
those
pass.
anymore.
Amusement parks, yes. If you just brought it in and built it this day,
Yeah.
I'm not gonna go on
I was
that.
like, if it took you 3 days to make that full roller coaster, nope, we're good.
I think I'll pass. But I was gonna ask you guys, do you think this is just kind of a reactionary step that they're taking because of the success thus far of horror movies in general, but also Scream has kind of had a resurgence.
Mhm.
The Evil Dead is doing fantastic, I think, as of right now in the theaters.
Yep.
We're getting a lot of these movies that are kind of coming back with
Mhm.
soft sequels or reboots or whatever you want to call them. Do you think this is just reactionary to that?
I kind of almost would have liked it to have just been a soft reboot, like where it's just Final Destination, not like Final Destination 6. You know what I mean? Like then I might have been. Well, I mean, I'm still probably gonna try to watch it, not like in theaters or anything. But I mean, I just think it would have
Crazy
been
ways are they
better.
going to kill teenage kids again?
Yeah, because how long
Yeah,
has
pretty
it been?
much.
I feel like it's been like at least 10
The
years.
first
no?
one came out in like '99, I think. Or 2000.
Wow. 10 years, my butt. It's been like 25 years. Good
Yeah.
Lord. But yeah, I mean, I think if they do it right, this kind of is like the right time to bring back these horror films. 'Cause
Yeah, let all these Gen Z kids die from eating Tide Pods in the movies, and it'll be great.
Heyo.
You know what I mean?
If they do that, I will laugh my ass off. Like somebody just catapults a Tide Pod into.
Like, bro, you got no riz. In comes an axe, just right in
What
the.
the?
You know what I mean? For no
Wow.
reason.
Yeah. Yeah, that's good for that. I don't
We should,
need
just
to
have, we should have an episode where we just discuss like our favorite deaths in the movie, because it's like there was some pretty
There were
random
some brutal
ones,
ones.
like like super
like
random.
the tanning bed ones.
Yeah.
That one's
It
not
just wouldn't
cool,
open.
man.
That thing just
That's
kept
not-
it closed. Yeah.
I was like, what are the odds of that?
Yeah. Oh boy.
Oh.
Yeah.
We'll do that on another pod. But
Yeah.
next thing that kind of dropped as news, Dodgeball is getting a sequel with Vince Vaughn returning in it. I'm assuming Ben Stiller will be returning as well, because you can't have
Mhm.
one without the other. They are what made that movie great.
Mhm.
I
Will it be Fat Ben Stiller?
don't know.
Technically, I think from last we checked, it would be a Fat Ben
Yeah.
Stiller.
But
But what if it's
been,
one of
what,
those
20
situations, those teams have to come together to beat a worse team than, you know what I mean? I feel like that's the classic sequel narrative in that situation's like
That's
the
true.
hero team from the last movie
Yeah,
has to
all
join
much
forces.
older now?
They are. Woo!
I mean,
Ben
if you
still
can get
got it,
Justin
though.
Long
Come on.
back.
Getting Justin Long back would be
Where's
great.
that dude been? Like,
He was in a horror movie that just released this year. I forgot what it's called. It's one with, like, something
He
about a
ran into the
basement
problem
or
that I
something.
think Tom Holland might run into, is that like he just he just has a baby face. So like once it got past that point of him being the kind of adorkable teenage lead for a lot of those
That's
years,
true.
it's like hard
Yeah.
to take him as anything
I
other
feel
than a
like he's been
teenager.
doing a lot of passion projects now.
That too,
I was
yeah.
gonna say it seems like he's been kind of low key with anything he's been doing. Yeah, it was like the last thing I really remember from was like New Girl, which was like
Oh.
even
I
that
remember
was
he
like,
was in like He's Just Not That Into You.
Great
he
movie.
did Tusks
Oh.
with Kevin Smith.
Yep.
I'm trying to remember. Barbarian was the movie that just came out recently, and it had
so
him in it.
random. Yeah, I was like it's like all
It was
random.
a horror movie that
Maybe he's really trying to change that whole face thing that Jay was
He's
just
been
talking
in a lot
about.
of horror movies now that I think about it. He was also in Drag Me to Hell.
He has a really good terrified face. It's like both comedic and like
He does, he does. And you got to get Alan Tudyk back as Steve.
Bro,
Right?
yeah, of course.
Steve
I was like,
the Pirate.
if the entire cast from at least the Average Joe's group does not come back, like I'll be pretty disappointed. Like I don't want to see any like
think it's
recasts or
doable.
like change ups. Like
think
they
that's very
have to bring
doable.
those. Yeah, I was like,
But do you
have to
really
bring them
want them all still playing dodgeball? Or are they like maybe ushering in a new team? And
See that was what I said. I was like, I don't want to see like them kind of be like, oh, we got these kids and they're the new average Joes. Like I want to see them still be like sad looking. When they're you know what I mean? Like athletically, they look pretty sad looking. Like
They
it's
look
just like,
depressing.
it's
They look like
it's
average Joes. Yeah.
yeah, it has to give that effect. So honestly, even now, it might be even better because they're
More
older.
average. Yeah.
And then Ben Stiller's wife could return as
Yeah.
I forgot what her character.
I forgot her name too.
But she has aged as well.
Yeah.
She is also aged.
I think it was Ben Stiller and her were sitting at like the Knicks game or Laker game or something, and I was like, "Wow,
Yeah.
you two are all white hair."
Oh, like I'm sure they'll color their hair for the film. I
Or
don't know.
maybe it'll play into it.
Maybe yeah, maybe you're right. Honestly, though, it for me it was like a cult classic film. I think it's like one of the most quotable freaking movies. I think we talked about that at some point. But yeah,
It's got to be the
honestly,
hair cotton.
yeah, legit. How I mean, I swear you say that so often too. Like for me, like it's just one of those films that's never gonna die, and I can't.
Oh God, that was a
Balmy Blazer.
balmy blazer, laser,
Blade,
laser,
blazer,
Michelle.
Next thing that we were going to cover today is Black Mirror season 6 trailer release, and I believe it, of course, it's going to release on Netflix.
Jeez.
Black Mirror is one of those shows that I definitely got into late, but you know, once you started
me too.
watching it, it was kind of like, okay, like
Yeah, you
I
kind of
like
kept
the
watching
anthology kind of thing that they do,
Mhm.
and it's kind of world issues, social issues, whatever you want to call it. But each one has a lesson, I guess you could say. And they've always brought it with the actors and actresses that star in each episode. I remember like Daniel Kaluuya was in one. I think Bryce Dallas Howard.
Bryce Howard, yeah.
was in it. And I think they're bringing back another star-studded cast again for this next season.
Did I see Josh Hartnett?
I did see that.
Okay, that was him, right?
I believe it was. And then
Okay.
Selma Hayek?
Yeah, Salma Hayek is in there.
But yeah, first off, Jalen, did you watch any of the Black Mirror series thus
No.
far? Gotcha. All right.
Not a bit.
Gotcha. All right.
Because it just didn't make sense. I'm like, you're telling me to watch a show that ain't really a show. It's just like 17 movies, all separate. And I don't know. I couldn't.
Yes,
I
that's
couldn't
exactly
do it.
what we're
Yeah.
telling you to do. Honestly, I think it's a pretty cool watch. Everything kind of wonky, whether it's like the future.
I think what I liked about it is you don't have to like. It's not like most shows where you kind of have to sit there and just like stream through like the first season. It's literally like you can watch an episode and chill.
Yeah, doesn't
watch another
necessarily have any
episode,
ties to
chill.
the episode.
You know what I mean?
before.
Yeah, it's exactly. You just kind of like here and there. You don't have to like go all the way through.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
But yeah, I guess I'll throw it over to you, Keone. Like, how much of a fan were you of the series thus far, and are you excited for season 6?
I had like one of those like just roller coaster type deals with this. First, wasn't on board with it for like the first 3 seasons, never watched it, and then kind of jumped in really late to watching it. So probably, I think it was around season 3, we like caught all the way up and then like slowly started watching them again, and then fell off because we had so many other things to watch and like, but every now and then I'll turn on an episode and check it out because yeah, you're right. It's such a weird yet just intriguing type of show. I don't know. It's like one of those things. It's kind of like any film that what's his name?
Jordan Peele.
Jordan Peele, yeah. Anything that he drops, like it's exactly like that, where it's kind of gives you that, like, what the hell is this about? And then you go through the whole thing, you're like, oh, okay, it all like connects at the end, kind of deal. So yeah, I mean, season 6, the cast that they have, like you said, Salma Hayek, we saw Josh Hartnett in there. There was somebody else who was super of note that I was like, oh, I can't believe they're in this series. Anyway, but yeah, it looks like they got some pretty big notable names for this season. Yeah, I mean, like I said, it's like you don't have to watch it all the way through. So I think what's nice about it is it's kind of an easy watch.
You can start season 6.
Well, let me take that back. It's not an easy watch because it's pretty uncomfortable some points when you're watching it. But I will say, like, it's one of those things that you can just kind of turn on, check it out. You don't have to stay up with it like episode to episode if you want to watch it like periodically.
Did you watch
like,
the Bandersnatch movie they made?
Which one?
It
Okay.
had Will Poulter in it, and
Yeah. Okay.
it was
Explain
like
the
choose
film.
your own.
Yeah. Okay, yeah. That was the one. I was like, you had to make the choices, right? Yeah.
The weird thing was like
Um.
I ended my Netflix, so I watched it on Plex, and it didn't
I
make
was like,
sense. It like
oh,
would
you
go play the
ruined
movie, and then
it.
all of a sudden it snapped back to like a certain point, and then go through the
Yeah.
next like.
Oh, you ruined the experience. You have to. Yeah. I was like, I think for us it was a lot because initially we made mostly wrong choices. So like our ending was supposed to be like one of the worst ways to end it. So we redid it and then did the whole like, okay, what is
And it
the
was all
best choices to
hunky-dory.
make? It was a lot better, but yeah, that was bro. When I tell you it was a trip, like it was a trip because there were some moments where I was just like, okay, I don't want to watch this anymore.
This is awkward.
It's like, I think Bianca and I were kind of like freaking out at one point because it's like one of those moments where the thing starts talking to you, like it's like, hey, you, like you, and I was just like,
Keone.
yeah, like I was just like, I don't want to watch it, but yeah, I was like, there were some moments in there that were pretty intense, but either way, we definitely screwed it up the first time. Had to rewatch it the second time, but yeah, that was a trip of a film. So yeah, it's more like
I
that.
recommend giving it a few episodes a watch, Jalen. I think you
Yeah.
enjoy it.
I mean,
Yeah.
yeah, it
He's
could
not
be.
gonna watch it. It's all right.
I'm not.
I was like, yeah.
Well, we'll keep in touch, man. Yeah, absolutely.
Totally.
The last thing
Yeah,
we're
I'll
going
meet
to
you
cover
there.
today for
Yeah,
post
totally.
credits is that Racka Racka, which is a YouTube channel that's been around for
Bro.
quite a minute,
Mhm.
is set to direct a live action Street Fighter. Now, if you guys are unfamiliar with Racka Racka's kind of material, they do use a lot of visual effects in what they're doing. They have some very crude videos as well as some very violent videos. So it's not for the.
This is not woke at all. Stuff like,
Yeah, there's like a psychotic Ronald McDonald, and it's go give it a watch on YouTube. I'm sure the videos are still there. But yeah, they're
Maybe.
maybe.
A few of them have probably been removed.
That's
The fact
that's
that
some
they've got a
red band type
directing
deal.
job,
Yeah.
I'm sure it's
Mhm.
fine.
Yeah.
But
Crazy.
yeah, Street Fighter. I think this is one of those kind of games that deserved a up to date, I guess you could say, rendition of what we had with Jean-Claude Van Damme. And I think now is the best time to do it, where you're getting, Mortal Kombat's coming out. I think with another sequel,
Mhm.
you're getting all these other video game adaptations that are doing really, really well. Um, First off, Jalen, did you ever play Street Fighter?
I did.
And do you think? Oh, I would say I'll save that question for Keone because he's actually seen the Racka Racka stuff. But do you think that they can do justice for this actual property?
I think they can. My concern is that they've never handled a production of this size, and it's going to be a
Absolutely,
complete
absolutely.
mess and a floundering of things. I mean, the last Street Fighter movie I watched had Kristen Cruick in it, and I thought like that movie was a disservice
the
to
Legend
her.
of Chun-Li.
Yeah, the Legend
Oh,
of
I was
Chun
gonna say, I
Li.
was like, what was that?
So,
from? Yeah. God.
So yeah, not a whole lot in the
Why'd you have
pocket
to
for
tell us that?
Street
Oh.
Fighter itself, but yeah, let's well,
It's
here we
funny
are.
you said that because I was on HBO Max and I was like kind of going down the train of like Mortal Kombat films, and then like I saw that and I was like, nope,
No
that is
shot.
definitely not watch
Dragon Ball
again ever
Dragon Ball
again.
Z movie pops up.
Oh
No,
yeah,
no
it
shot.
always pops up too whenever you're trying to watch like Mortal Kombat on there. Yeah,
No, but that's my concern. They just have
Of course,
they
yeah.
just don't have the
And
experience
that's
to
absolutely fair. I think that hopefully they have a good, producer with them to kind of help guide them a little bit in certain
Yeah.
aspects, and I hope they get a good cast going so that they at least kind of can cover any gaps that they may have as their directorial debut. But Keone, I'll throw it over to you. You seeing those videos that they have put out on YouTube, do you think that because of what you know from their, I guess you could say, videos and property, that they can kind of incorporate that seamlessly into a Street Fighter project?
yeah. It's funny because I would almost say that they were a little ahead of their time as far as like visual effects and stuff because really realistically, like they were like old school YouTube. Like
Yeah.
this was like, you know, I mean, we're talking
Early
like
2000s.
yeah, legit. Like AJ Raphael and all those kind of guys were like at their peak. So for me, like, and if you're a YouTube person, you've been watching it for a while, like they were it as far as special effects back in the day. So for me, yeah, I mean, it's crazy that you, because even when you said it initially, I had to think like, what the hell is Racka Racka? Like it sounds familiar, couldn't remember. At first I thought you wrote like, you know, like it just corrected your spelling or something, and I was kind of like, yeah, exactly. But then yeah, I mean, like I said, they were definitely ahead of their time. Who knows what they could do with, you know, a bigger budget? We've never seen them do anything directorial before, so that is going to be a little bit of an interesting thing. Obviously, like you said, their stuff was very crude, so I'm curious, one, to see what kind of rating that this film gets, and two, just kind of how what the storyline and stuff is going to be, because I do think that they can definitely handle the action stuff, but it'll be those kind of in between moments that I'm super interested to see how they handle, because obviously there wasn't like a lot of storytelling in their older stuff. It was mostly just a lot of violence. So
Which is not bad.
yeah, I mean, yeah, like I said, if they do it right, I mean, they get the kind of right people into there. I imagine this might be one of those films where they don't get any big names attached, but yeah,
I
we
don't
may
know.
have to
That would
fan
hurt
cast
it.
that one. I'm just saying.
I mean, like if you can get a solid cast like you had for
Hmm.
the Mortal Kombat movie, you know,
Yeah,
all
yeah.
reservations aside, it was solid. You know,
I hope they don't. That's the one thing I was gonna say. I was like, I hope they don't just like bring the, the entire Mortal Kombat cast, because like a lot of the Mortal Kombat cast even was like a lot of like kind of like cult classic type of like action stars who are like from like B
yeah.
list films. Like they're not from like the top of the top. Outside of what's his name that played Scorpion,
Sonata.
but yeah, yeah. So like for me, I mean, it'll be interesting to see what names they get attached. I think that'll definitely help dictate whether or not this will be like a good film. But yeah, I mean, I have high hopes for them, just because, like I said, they clearly could do it on like a no budget deal. So you know, we'll see what they can do with like a bigger
But
budget, and I'm
I'm
hoping the
sure they're
best for
probably
them.
gonna get at least a experienced writer to pen the screenplay, so that it's
Yeah.
not just
Mhm.
them figuring it out as they go as well. 'Cause that could be
Yeah.
bad, but
You imagine to see Ronald McDonald. Oh God,
that's exactly
yeah,
how he
yeah.
sounds.
Yeah,
And
literally.
he
Like a
starts
bird?
cussing and beating
Sounds like a
kids.
sounds like a cranky bird.
It's exactly what it sounds like. Yeah. Yeah. Oh.
Okay, Mike D'Alessandro, calm down.
Check out Team Huddle, everybody.
Huddle.
But that will do it for us here on the post-credits segment. Gentlemen, let them know where they can find you. Keone?
You can find me on Instagram, Twitter, and Twitch at Kone. That's KAYOHKNEE.
And Sir Jalen.
You can find me on Twitter at Jalen Holston, Instagram at ArtByJalen, and Twitch at MochaThanos_LGG.
And you guys can find me on Instagram, Twitter, and Twitch at NolanKYT, NOLANKYT. And please give our Instagram page for the Poi and Soy podcast a follow. We're coming out with reels every week for all the segments we do. But other than that, thank you all for joining us and making us a part of your day. We enjoyed having you be a part of ours. From everyone here at Poi and Soy, good vibes and love, everybody.
Bang, bang.
Watch Superman Lois. Do it.